Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Crafting with Coggins. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing well. I think a lot of people are getting kind of bored at home, and I wanted to do a craft today that you could do inside on a rainy day. We're going to be doing Shoebox Foosball. Okay, the first thing you'll need is a shoebox. Usually the wider shoe boxes are going to give us a little bit more space to put the players down in there. So if you have a shoe box, you're ready to go. The other things that you'll need from home are either skewers or pencils or something long and skinny. Perhaps you can tape it together, okay? I also have here chopsticks. If you have chopsticks at home, that'll work too. The next thing you're going to need is some paper for the field. The field will go down into the box. This is a field that Sylvie has already done for me, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So the field is going to go down into the box like this. So you can either use it with white paper and color it like she did, or if you have green paper at home, we can tape it together and then cut it down to fit right inside the shoebox. Okay, now it's time to make the field. Depending on what length your box is and what kind of paper you're using, you might have to double up and use 2 sheets to make it a little bit longer. And if you need to do that, you would just glue it or tape it together to match the length of your box. So you just line up the papers and line it up. But this paper, construction paper, is a little bit bigger, and if you see, it's matching right with my box. So we're not going to cut it that way, but it is a little bit wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the box right on the edge there, maybe just a touch over so we make sure it's really going to fit down in there. And then I'm going to hold it still and just draw the line right down the paper and then cut that little edge off, and it should go right down in your box. Okay, now that you have sized your paper to fit inside your box, and go ahead now and check it and make sure it'll fit, we're going to create the field. So the first thing is to fold the 2 shorter edges to meet each other. In class we sometimes say this is hamburger style, so we're going to fold it hamburger. We're not going to fold it that much, we're just going to pinch it, just a pinch on each side so we can see where a straight line needs to go. So I'm going to let Sylvie do this part. So I'm going to hold the ruler on the straight edge right in the middle of the field, and she's going to take a white crayon, because white will show up like they mark the fields for soccer and football games. So she is going to trace this line with the crayon. Just go straight or down or up the edge. Yeah. Good. Maybe get one more time to make it a little bit darker. Alright, okay. Alright, now that we have our center line marked off, we're just going to take some tape. This is painter's tape. You can use duct tape, whatever you have at the house that's about this size, you can use. So I'm going to lay it and carefully look, and you can look too to make sure I'm right, and try to put that tape right where the line is right in the middle. Does that look good? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to hold it, and Sylvie's going to trace the inside with the white crayon. Good job. Okay, and now she's going to trace on the outside. Pass it to me. There, you got it? There you go. Good. Alright, good job. Let me see, just a pinch. Okay, so now we're going to take the tape and lay it to where the edge of the paper is right down the middle. And now Sylvie's just going to trace that one too. Okay, so here's our field goal marked off. And then if you didn't have green paper, you can color white paper with different colors of green, and you can still mark it off in the same way. This one Sylvie has added in a lot of texture to make it look like grass. Okay, now that we're done with the field, we're going to take it and set it aside, and we're going to work on your box. This is the part where you have to have an adult to help you, okay? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to mark off where whatever you're going to use as a stick to go through, okay? So you don't want the stick to lay on top because the box is way taller than these. So if you have a ball down in the bottom, there's no way for it to hit. You see what I mean? So the sticks are gonna have to go in through a little hole that we create. Now also, we're gonna have to line it up and make sure that it's a good height, because we don't want them to, not have any space to move back and forth. So we need them a little bit up, but with enough space to where our little guys can hit the ball. Go! Okay. So we're gonna have to mark this, not all the way to the bottom, but a little bit up. And you're gonna have 2 rows over here and 2 rows over here. So the first thing to do is mark and make sure, you can make sure with a ruler, make sure it's even on both sides. Because to have it go through, you need a hole on this side and a hole on this side. And then for your other players, you need a hole on this side, and then do these 2 lines the same. Also, on the ends, you're gonna need a box cutter to cut out right here. You're gonna cut out just a little bitty square, not too little because you don't wanna make it too hard, but this is where your goal is gonna be. So the ball will come out on this goal or this goal. And so please go and ask parent, guardian, or adult. I think we need to get help too. What do you think?
Yeah.
Who should we call?
Oh, wow!
Poor Daddy. Why don't we call him Daddy and see if he comes? You ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Daddy! Here, help has arrived. So we're going to show you how we're going to cut the ends of the box, and he's going to create little small X's so we can poke the hole through, okay? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now that we have the box cut with the goals, we have one more step, and that is, set this over here, to make our players. To make the players, you need clothespins. You can have the wooden kind, or you can have the plastic kind. It doesn't matter each one. And as long as you have 2 different colors, you could be done if you didn't want to decorate them, as long as they're 2 different colors, because one team is the pink color for us and one team is the blue color. If you have wooden ones, you can take markers and color the 2 different teams, like to make the jerseys. But I wanted to add in a little bit more of a fun step. If you have old pictures of your family that you have permission to cut up, you can use those. You can use a magazine. Maybe if you had Sports Illustrated, you could cut out the faces of your favorite players. Or another idea is just to draw maybe emojis on a piece of paper and cut them out. But I had extra photos, so I cut out everybody in our family. I'll cut out their little faces, just the faces. And we're just gonna tape them on to the top side of the pin. So these will be our players. All right, now Sylvia's gonna help me pinch the clip open. And I'm going to put the picture of the face on one side and then tape it to the inside. Okay. So I have the picture like this, and I'm going to slide the piece of tape in and smush down on the picture really good, like that. So now you're going to have pieces of tape hanging off the edge. Okay, so now the picture's on this side. I have taped it to the back like this. Okay, you see how it's taped on? And now I'm gonna come and trim the excess blue tape off right along even with the picture, because we don't want that hanging off. Okay. And then we'll trim this piece of the tape off too. Okay, so now we have our first player. Welcome everybody to our pre-game show.
This is the Pink Panthers.
And going up against the Pink Panthers are the
Blue Robins.
Okay, now that we have most of all the pieces made, we're gonna put them all together. The other thing that you're gonna need is some sort of ball. Like, luckily we just happen to have a Barbie soccer ball. But if you have a large bead, or you can ball up a little piece of trash and just use that as your ball too, like trash get ball. So now we're gonna get our box back. And the next thing we're gonna put down in there is our field. So we're gonna push the field all the way to the bottom. And you can glue that in there if you want to. I don't think it's going anywhere because it's nice and tight in there, so I'm not gonna worry with that. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is put in the sticks. This is gonna be a little tricky. You might need extra hands. So I'm gonna look for the little X that we poked the hole, and I'm gonna poke everybody. That was a fun game. I'm tired just after watching it. We did find after playing that the longer stick that we had taped together worked a lot easier. So if you tape the sticks together, or if you have very long skewers, although it was still really fun with the short ones and we really had no problems either. So I'm glad you guys have fun. Be creative and let me know how you make your boxes even better. Thank you for joining us for another episode of
Crafting with Coggins.